What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the previous ASMR style video, and Blueberry is looking fire. I had mentioned that we had a tune scheduled for Project Blueberry, and that is actually supposed to be today, except we have family dinner with mom because it is my mom's birthday and we had to reschedule the dyno session. So I apologize if you guys were looking forward to it, but I can assure you guys it will be on the dyno here real soon, and this only gives me a little bit more time to kind of work with Project Blueberry a little bit. I don't know if you guys paid attention in the turbo reinstallation ASMR style video. The wastegate went from black to purple. The purple wastegate is my authentic tile wastegate that I bought in 2011 from my second turbo kit, and I threw it on the car because I was having issues with the black wastegate that I had originally installed, and I was just throwing on a spare one just to get it rolling. But I finally kind of got into the wastegate that was on the car and figured out what was wrong with it. I was trying to figure out an exhaust leak situation, and after kind of like taking apart everything, reinstalling everything, gasketing everything and all that, it turned out that the wastegate valve wasn't seating all the way to the valve seat and causing an exhaust leak all the time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you know, I was kind of stumped about it, but I finally took it apart to see if there was something easy to fix, and sure enough, it was. So yesterday I took apart the wastegate and I took apart the diaphragm to kind of see what was going on, and it turns out that the set screw for the diaphragm right here on the top, there's 4 of them, it was actually screwed down further down on the valve, which makes the valve sit more higher, which caused the valve to not seat to the valve seat down low. I'll insert a picture of the gap that I'm talking about. So what I did was I took off the set screws, and then I dropped the valve completely all the way down, and then I tightened up the set screw to where it's supposed to be. Where the set screw was sitting on the valve, it was like an 1/8 inch off where it's supposed to be, and an 1/8 inch off was how far the valve was sitting away from the valve seat. So after putting the valve all the way down, resetting the set screws, the valve is completely shut now. So what I want to do today is I want to reinstall this back onto Project Blueberry, because, you know, when I do end up selling the car, whatever the case may be, I don't want to sell it with my wastegate. You know, obviously we're keeping this super budgeted and we're going to be rocking this wastegate. So I want to reinstall this to see if it still leaks. If it doesn't, we're rocking it. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to find a different solution. Damn, the car smells good. Ooh-wee. Watch my dump tube. If you guys didn't see the previous ASMR video, I made this little bracket down low to tie in the wastegate to the downpipe so that it doesn't vibrate and break off the flange here, since the dump tube is free floating. Now a lot of you guys are saying like, oh, why don't you tie in the wastegate into the downpipe? I don't want to do that because it has to be very precise, and not only that, recirc, you do lose a little bit of power, and I do kind of like the sound of the open wastegate. So my dump tube just goes alongside the downpipe, straight down, and dumps straight to the floor. At nighttime, them fireballs, they look cool, but this bracket right here is what's holding it up. So that's freaking cool. Super random, guys, super random. It was overcast all day and now it's just downpouring. But then again, it's been raining all week, so not surprising. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the spring back out of my tile because it is a much softer spring. I'm hoping it's like a 10 pound or something like that, or something around there, because the spring that was in the tile gate was a 20, because I was running 25 pounds of boost in the all-wheel drive car. This spring is soft enough that I can use one hand to hold the cap down, but this is the spring that was in it, and it is a lot softer than this little shorty, so I'm hoping it's lesser than 20 pounds. But we'll find out. We'll find out on the dyno. No more gaps. Okay, so the wastegate is reinstalled, and the exhaust leak issue is coming between these two flanges because the valve wasn't fully seated, and to my eyes the valve is seated now, and we're going to turn the car on to see if it's leaking. Now, it doesn't sound like it's leaking when it's idling. It's when you throttle it you can hear that exhaust leak. So let's go ahead and get this car warmed up just a little bit. The Bluetooth literally connected to my phone all the way at the table here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause that. No more exhaust leaks. Heck yeah. The suspension is really nice and stiff, and the dampener is only on 12 clicks and not 24. The engine bay sounds so quiet, and the only deep part about the car is the muffler, and even that is not like super loud. So let's go ahead and move on to the stickers. I'm going to start with the underhood fuse box cover. And this thing is actually pretty dirty, so let me clean this up real quick. What is this, overspray? That is overspray. Get some acetone. Okay, that works. You can kind of see the old imprint of the previous stickers, so that's going to help me align the new sticker on here. I'll go ahead and let this dry up real quick. Resto tuner, fuse panel for 92 to 95. I want to say it's the same for the Integra and the EK, but I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Try not to get your fingerprint on the sticky side, just so that it can adhere properly. I just noticed that there's these little tabs on top of the plastic, kind of help align the sticker itself. So that's pretty cool. All right, so with this right here, we're not going to struggle to figure out what fuses does what. Wow, that looks complete. Guys, I actually have to take off somewhere right now.
Look, you're gonna be in his YouTube video now.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. Alright, I took a bunch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay guys, so we are back in the garage. Last night we took off my mom's birthday dinner, and man, that hot pot place got full pretty damn fast. So we're gonna move inside the car, and I'm not sure why there's two sticker pack for the interior. It says hatchback and coupe sedan for some of these stickers, and we have two of them. As I sit in here in Blueberry, I'm looking at the sticker pack and I'm like, there's really not a lot of stickers in this car. So I think the ones that I am going to change out is the emergency light. This right here, super faded. Not entirely sure what this is because I've never used it before, but that is also super faded. You can see the really nice clean one there. We don't have a rear fog light. We don't have cruise control. The gas lever, this one, the big one, is nice, clean, and clear. And I am going to change the gas lid one because it is also super faded. And the locks are pretty clean. So I don't think I'm going to be changing the locks on the car. And what other ones on here? Front fog lights, we don't have that. Yeah, so I guess let's just start prepping these guys. I'm not sure if you're supposed to put the sticker right over this, but I'm gonna see if I can try to pick this out so it's not layered. This thing has a clear coat. Oh, it does come off. Okay. Oh crap, I don't think that was supposed to come off entirely. Cause there's a freaking gap right there. Oh boy, I think I messed up. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Oh crap. All that clear coat thing is gone, and the sticker is kind of in place. It was still sticky on the backside, so I don't think I'm worried about like really popping off unless it's like really hot outside. So I'm gonna assume the same for the emergency. Get that nicely cleaned off, all the edges. I'm gonna put the emergency one on first. And normally the Resto tuner kit comes with a little pick to ensure that you're not putting your fingerprints on the stickers. I'm just gonna use a razor blade. Oh wow, much more vibrant. On this sticker, make sure you take off the little one right there on the top, so that way it can illuminate through when you turn the lights on. I really don't know what that is, but it is fresh, and that's all that matters. Bring you guys down low. Go ahead and wipe off this one and this one. You can't really see it because of the carpet bulge. This is a coupe carpet in a hatch, so all right, looking fresh, looking fresh. Can you see it? So the one for the hood, I was gonna change it out, and then I was like, wait, that's already a sticker on there and it is looking nice and reflective. So I'm gonna leave that be. Everything else, I think that's it. Man, if you guys are looking for Resto tuner replacement sticker for your vehicle or fresh zinc coated hardware, be sure to hit a Resto tuner. I'll put their link in the description below. Big thank you to guys for supporting the builds each and every time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start messing with the ECU a little bit. So this ECU, I got it from the junkyard a while ago, and it is a compatible ECU for K tuner. And because we're keeping this car budget as far as cost goes, the K tuner is a lot cheaper than K Pro. And shout out to the homie Nomis Industries for purchasing and installing the K tuner for me. It is brand spanking new. We got that fresh Nomis Industries Lexan ECU cover. If you guys are interested in one for your ECU, be sure to hit the link in the description below. But I was told that I need to cut a slot for the cable that connects to the K tuner. Now my ECU is kind of beat up, so like I have this giant access port in the back because when I took this ECU I kind of just broke it out of the car. So I'm gonna have to hit the junkyard here soon to grab another ECU that doesn't have the giant hole, so we can cut a precise hole for the cable so that it doesn't pull or tug the circuit board on the K tuner itself and destroy that. So we need to put the cable in order to connect it to the laptop. The kit does provide the cable here and a whole bunch of analog cables here as well too. I've never messed with K tuner before, so this is like literally all new to me, and I do need to download the program for it as well as register the ECU. So we're gonna hopefully do all of that today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cable connected to K tuner, and I need to find a way to secure it and have it not be flimsy or move around. I think I might just zip tie it to the ECU itself so it doesn't pull or tug or shake or shift and break these pins off like I mentioned. So let me figure something out. I also need to make a phone call real quick, and we'll pick back with you guys in just a second. All right guys, so I got my laptop right here wedged up on the dashboard in the windshield, and I went to ktuner.com and downloaded their software, and it is asking me to register the K tuner, but K tuner needs to be installed into the car as well. So let's go ahead and connect the K tuner to the vehicle, and I'm going to give a big shout out to CJSWIRING because we have the K tuner K-Pro K-Tuner conversion, or in this case 0204R6 ECU jumper to K-Tuner, and this is what you're going to need to run K-Tuner because K-Tuner is only compatible with certain ECUs. So let's look at it here. This is pretty cool because CJ actually 3D printed these housings, and then obviously he builds the harnesses. Got my cable right here to the laptop. I did cut a little hole on the side, and then I ran the cable through it, and then I glued it on just so it doesn't move around and pull or tug on the K-Tuner board. And I do have this red wire to tie in the O2 sensor, which is going to be going to analog 1 on the provided harness from K-Tuner itself. So you guys can see that's kind of how it is ran until I get another ECU cover. So let's go ahead and connect this to the L laptop though. I just made that up, I'm sorry, but USB right here. Go ahead and power on. It does say no K-Tuner device found, insert K-Tuner device to get started. So that means you have to connect your ECU and it should pick it up. There it is. So now you got to register your email, your name, and create a password. Okay, already registered. Close. So K-Tuner is finally opened, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at. So the good thing is I did contact Jeremy earlier, and he is actually making me a base map for Project Blueberry for K-Tuner for the setup. I'm not sure if he's finished with it yet, but I'm not in a rush. Would you like to lock this K-Tuner unit to this ECU? You will need to revert to stock and unlock the unit before it can be resold. Okay guys, so ran into a little dilemma. I don't know if this is like a user error because I've never used K-Tuner before, and I'm having issues with I guess reflashing the ECU or whatever it's called. But let me show you guys what's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up K-Tuner. Okay, ECU is not connected right now, and just kind of want to show you guys what it's doing, and I'm a little confused, but then again I really have no idea about K-Tuner. So let's go ahead and blow that up. Okay, right now disconnected because no ECU, but let's go ahead and connect it. And mind you guys, I already registered the ECU, and I'm going to turn the power on, and right there ECU communication failed. Retry. We have reset the ECU. Suggest you turn the key off and back on before hitting OK. So off, give it a few moments, back on, Okay, give it a few moments. Press OK. So here we have the program opened, and it is connected down low right there, the green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just find a new map. I was kind of looking at this a little bit earlier. So right here, we're going to go to, let's keep it basic for right now. So PND RSX base model, factory PND, and this is literally factory everything. So I'm going to go ahead and open that map up. Everything should load up here. Now, before I go and change parameters like, you know, injectors, map sensor, and all that, I want to see if this will load into the ECU at all. So right here, we can go to the top where it says tuning, and then it says to upload tune. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload the tune. Make sure battery charger is recommended for vehicle, has full battery. Laptop is also on a power source, and make sure flashing a file that matches your model, which is a PND map into a PND ECU. Please make sure to let the entire process finish and follow final instructions. So I'm gonna go ahead and put yes, and while it's doing its thing, right at the bottom says erasing ECU in the yellow. Please key off, then key on to reset ECU, and then hit OK to continue. Am I supposed to be waiting for the ECU to finish erasing, or do I turn it off and on now and then hit OK? Because when I do off and then back on and hit OK, it corrupts. It says erasing ECU failed. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be waiting for that to be done or do this process first. So because I've already done this about twice, let's see if that changes down there. Okay, so far it has not changed. Turn it back on, and then hit the OK button is what it says to do. And erase fail. Please restart ECU and K2 hardware to try again. And I've done this probably 3 or 4 times now. I can't seem to get a map into the ECU, and after clicking the OK button, this thing comes up, ECU communication failed. And no matter how many times I click retry, key off, key on, press the OK button, it just keeps popping back up, and I don't know where to go from here. So I think what I'm gonna do is troubleshoot this a little bit more, do some more research, figure out what's all going on, call some friends, ask around, and get this all sorted out. But for right now, I think I just want to do something else. I got a package yesterday and another one today, which are both going to be going to Project Blueberry. But let's show you guys what we got. You guys already know, right? Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. So this package right here, we have the Glow Shift 2-in-1 gauge. One's a temp sensor, the other one's a pressure sensor. You can use it for whatever, you know, pressure or temp you're trying to monitor. We're going to be using the temp for coolant, and we're going to be using the pressure sensor for boost. So this right here is from Amazon. It was like 150 bucks. This thing showed up less than 24 hours after I ordered it, and we're going to be installing this, and I'll explain to you guys why I got a 2-in-1 instead of 2 separate gauges. This package right here came from my fuel guy, and shout out to B&R Fittings for literally, I ordered this last night and it showed up this morning. So I mean, it kind of helps that he's only an hour away, but regardless of the fact, cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. And I literally cut this thing so crooked, instead of on the tape, I literally cut the cardboard, because that's how sharp the razor blade is. This right here is a Walbro 450, also known as TI automotive fuel pump, and we're going to be swapping out the fuel pump that's in Blueberry for a 450. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in today's video, but the one that's in the car is a Walbro 255, and I confirmed that a week or so ago. But we also got the install kit, which comes with the filter, the hose, the clamps, and everything you'll need to get this pump into the car without reusing the old hardware. This was something I definitely forgot before scheduling the tune for yesterday, and now that we are actually rescheduled for this upcoming Friday, it gives me a lot of time to like really button up Project Blueberry, because this one totally slipped my mind. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to install the gauge. I want to get the temp sensor rolling, because I want to drive the car and really monitor the temperature in the cylinder head, because I drove the car a couple of weeks ago to go do an alignment, and the car was running hot and then it will run normal, then it'll be hot, it'll throw a check engine light, then it'll run normal. Me and Jeremy think that it has an air bubble, so I bled the cooling system, but I haven't really driven the car after that. So I want to put this in the car because there's no way I can monitor the temp inside the car, because the cluster is reading off the lower radiator hose, which is going to run cooler than the cylinder head, which reads to the ECU. And when the check engine light comes on, we're reading 230 plus, which is not good. So with this, I'm going to be able to monitor it because the V3 doesn't allow the Hondata app to work since it's not Bluetooth. So having an external gauge will help me monitor temp. So let's go ahead and figure out where we're going to mount it and get it installed. I do kind of like my 9mm shell block off, but I think to simplify the installation, I'm going to pull this barb off and then thread this hole for the coolant temp sensor. I want the sensor to be closer to the factory ECT sensor, which sits at the bottom, to kind of get temp reading on the upper radiator hose, the cylinder head coolant that's running through the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of torch this up a little bit, because I want to say it is press fitted, and I'm just going to put a vice grip on it and then twist it off. There that goes. Simple. You guys probably can't see it, but I can see the coolant sitting there in the water neck. So now I'm going to go ahead and drill that out to the size of my 1/8 tap, and then we'll tap it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had a little mishap and things escalated a little quickly. So I have my intake manifold taken off because I was trying to drill the intake manifold and tap it for the boost pressure sensor. Except I drilled the hole a little too damn big and the tap was just blown right through it. So I had to pull the intake manifold off, weld it completely shut, and then I decided to relocate the sensor, drilled and tapped there, nice and secured. While the intake manifold is off, I debated on painting it wrinkle black like I originally wanted to, but right now I don't think I have time for it. The silver kind of grew on me, and it kind of matches the compressor housing because it is also cast aluminum color. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and toss it all back into the car, reverse the process, and we'll pick up with installing the gauge inside the car. Okay, so I have the harness for the pressure sensor and temp sensor running alongside the power wire for the alternator and starter. It goes back here, and you can see it goes underneath the battery tray right there, and then it goes into the firewall right here. So let me put the battery back in real quick. The battery hides the firewall inlet outlet perfectly fine, and you know that goes there. Inside here, I just gotta tie up the slack a little bit, kind of like tuck it up out of the way so you don't really see it from the passenger side. But we have the gauge installed. So the gauge, simple. There's only 4 wires. There's a red, yellow, black, orange. Orange is for dimmer, so that it dims down when you turn the lights on. Black is ground, red is constant, and yellow is switch, or it's constant and switched. So what I did was I tied yellow and red together to power and ground to black, and I'm not really worried about the orange or dimmer. And I tied it in with the AFR to the radio. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the light real quick, kick the power on. We have the wideband and the glow shift gauges. The temp sensor is going to read anywhere in the 60s or 70 starting off. I think that's where it defaults with the gauge. And then the bottom is obviously 0 because we don't have any you know, atmospheric pressure right now. So the gauge is pretty much done. So if you look, nice and cherry. I'm not worried about the 12 volt to hold memory for the gauge because default is blue, and you already know my gauge is always glowing in blue. So that's that. So as far as I was told and what I've read, K-Tuner really is a hiccup program. All right guys, so I think I'm going to wrap up the video right here. I was going to fill up the cooling system to bleed it out, but I don't have any coolant. The coolant that came out of it was kind of dirty, so I want to change it out. We didn't get too far with the K tuner today, but we are going to sort it out because that is what the car is going to be tuned on. Nonetheless, we made some progress. We did the Resto tuner stickers, we did the Hunter Tune wastegate reinstallation, and we also installed the gauge to finally monitor coolant temp and boost pressure. You guys already know progress is better than no progress. Tomorrow is going to be the old school versus new school Honda meet, which Isaac from Old School Honda is bringing down from SoCal up to Northern California. I wanted to take Project Blueberry, but unfortunately we just kind of ran out of time once again. But nonetheless, we're going to be taking the KRX out there tomorrow. I'm just going to wash it in the morning. Well, just the wheels, because I did wash the car 2 days ago. So we're going to clean the car up and then take the KRX to the meet. I might be meeting up with the homie Nikki Higgins built early in the morning. Hopefully I wake up. But we're going to hit the meet tomorrow. It is early, 8 to 11 a.m. But I think it's going to be a great day. So we're going to wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed progress update on Project Blueberry. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the Old School Honda meet coverage, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Với microphone ảo chuột